Today, we come with another topic inside the health talk where we begin from last month. We want to try for the get once every month, make we can talk about we health. And we can focus on things them way they affect Sierra Leoneans them within a salon and within out of salon. Lately, allegedly, because it not come up from the Ministry of Health, people in the claim say hepatitis boku na salon. And some man they even say the young one they will see, they can just say before they say something don't do them, they don't die. Now the reason behind that. Just like what I say, a lot of people don't call Sierra Network with this concern. We don't go to the extent for send the camera go at the hospital them for talk to the one they were in charge. But unfortunately, they shy on the camera, so they not get the camera any kind of attention. Even though we try for say, okay, well, let me just know how the customer service between the hospital them and the patient them. Even at that, they say no, they don't want that. Today we get the opportunity, we don't upload the Parliament Open Day. I don't know if you don't watch them, but if you watch them, you go find out, say, yes, the camera gonna Parliament. Unfortunately, no MP not talk to the camera. Rather, the people them way, they work under the different departments in the Parliament, or they work directly or indirectly with the MPs them, not then talk to the camera, but the MP themselves not good for talk to the camera. Well, we could still try and do we work maybe, and because we're not based in Salon, because not diaspora, we don't know. But we could try we on. Like I said, today, we come with sister again. We go can lay a table for we topic, and we go take the conversation from there and see what thing we go make up of it. I see already people they don't begin ask question on Facebook about what thing they can discuss. But anyway, make a count. Isatu make a start the platform for we. Yes, Isatu. This is another day. Today we talk about hepatitis. What thing you want start with?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, my Sierra Leone brothers and sisters around the world and in the whole, Salon itself. So today, we want to, Isatu Kakay, Diallo, the last time I've been talk about, where you travel in a salon, the precautions that we will take. And also, this now that topic again, we will be very aware of. We're in hepatitis. Sometimes people don't even know say they get hepatitis because they not go for the regular checkup or they're not being get vaccine with them be younger, but probably talking about it today, it will help, follow open the eye to it and make a, informed decision each time, how to prevent the spread and also how to protect yourself from it.
Okay, just give me an overview of hepatitis.
So hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. So inflammation means swelling. So just to make it, like a layman term. So inflammation of the liver. So, most of the time we then get hepatitis and can get different types where it is caused by a specific type of the virus. Then get the A, B, C, D, and E. And sometimes some medications then can let you get hepatitis. Some drug or alcohol use can also lead to hepatitis. And another part of this again, your immune system can attack your healthy cells that are the liver, and what they call the autoimmune hepatitis. So drugs, when I say drugs, like people that we let for take Tylenol, let's start with that. Be very wise. There's a maximum daily dose we for take each day for Tylenol. So, and take past 3,000 milligrams, so which is like 3 grams per day, because that can cause like inflammation of the liver. We're not swelling. But the other thing we want to look at is like the Hepatitis B virus. Just to give us some statistics on this, the infection is a global concern, for all the World Health Organization, for the CDC, for, Institute of Health and all healthcare providers. So about 250 million people then they carry Hepatitis B virus in the world. And within that number, about 600,000 can die annually related. It not to percent at the hepatitis B no more, but like because the hepatitis B therefore cause some complications, then the person can die through that. Some of the complications, as we will talk about that. Initially it would be like the cirrhosis of the liver. It can be liver cancer, liver failure, and some other ones then where they also become very toxic. It go now the brain as well. And then we can start with hepatitis A, for example, we be saying like a vaccine, preventable disease, but a communicable one too, where they call the hepatitis A virus. So this not a self-limited one, where we say it not go for lead to a chronic disease, but you can prevent them by getting 2 doses of the hepatitis A vaccine. We say we get this vaccine, you get from anybody we like over 2, but then can really start the vaccine around 12 months and older. So, but for the 6 months apart, meaning if you don't get the first dose now, you have to wait another 6 months, forget that. But how would you know that you need this? First, then therefore, do a blood test. So we then do the blood test, it is show whether you immune to the hepatitis A. Probably if you don't get away younger. Well, if you don't get them, I'd recommend that you go with that. Well, before we go further into that, the way they get hepatitis A, now through person to person, from a fecal oral route, or we don't consume a food where it become contaminated, like the water or the food. So definitely, sanitary, food and clean water is very important, especially when you travel out of the country. And some of the symptoms that we can present with, we then get hepatitis A because the person will prepare the food or the water they use for cook the food, they're not being, proper for prepare that food. People then can begin complaining of, GI symptoms, pain at the stomach, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. They can feel like tired, then they begin experience some muscle or joint pain. And some of the late signs then, also the people then can become loss of appetite, fever, and some things and that. And the late signs are like dark color urine. Then they begin feel like itchy, then skin they become very itchy because of the toxin within the liver. Because the liver, like I've been mentioned before, the liver they process a lot of things and what they eat and a lot of medications then as well. So they metabolize a lot of GI medications. So weight loss, another one, jaundice, when are like yellow skin or eyes, your eye can become yellow. We see them, then you don't see, then get some liver infection or disease they go on.
I want all you under quick. This one we talk about jaundice. When we be the grab up na salon, then they talk about jaundice malaria. Is it the same thing? Okay. Or na just name the Indiana saloon, but it gets something for those hepatitis.
The thing is the malaria, in that sense, if you recall, the malaria don't now become chronic in the body, then it don't affect the liver because liver now one of the organs then really become, really get complications through malaria if you not treat them. So then once your liver don't become, infected through the malaria, then you begin get symptoms. So then within that they say is you get this jaundice because of the malaria. Let me then give the name.
Okay.
So some diseases and then when they affect your liver, it will lead to liver symptoms where they present by the liver, because the liver therefore produce some chemicals then where they break down, waste product and get rid of it, because you eat food, the body they use what you want and then get rid of the rest. So that's most likely why they call it that, and they always give name because of the source of the problem.
Okay. So, what's in again the cause? Because I know say we don't talk about the cause we say person to person through the fecal oral. You can break that one day down for we to get big name. Is it to get for do it that other pathway with the common inside mortal man?
Yes. So definitely, some of the people that were at risk for hepatitis A, some people that would use like injection, like drug users would use injection, like homeless people that are at risk, and also if they're now on stable housing, some homosexuality, men having sex with men, those are things that can put you at risk for that. A direct contact with somebody with the hepatitis A, and then when you travel, it puts you at risk for that, right? Sharing needles or syringes, put you at risk for that as well. And not washing your hands and not cooking food properly put you at risk for that. So that's why it's important when you use the restroom, you wash your hands, because you don't know what's in that, what happened and things like that. And then if we wash your hand, it's very important. Don't use your hand to open the door. Get a tissue, to open the door, especially if not to one of those doors that you can push with your arm and things like that.
Okay, so I go and say how we able for prevent them, or again how we able put ourselves make we know they at risk of this particular one who they talk about. Definitely
get vaccinated is very important, and make sure the vaccine are just 2 doses. Like I earlier mentioned, if we don't do the blood test and say you're not immune to this, then you need to get the vaccines to protect yourself. And then also if somebody gets infected and you're aware of it, like your partner, maybe it's best that you go get checked. And also it's best that, if you didn't get exposed for whatever reason, make sure you get vaccinated as well.
Okay, so we can go to the B, or we still there on A?
No, we can go to the B.
Okay,
so
let's
the B also not a serious liver infection. We not the B virus and the cause. But this one also you can prevent by vaccination. With this particular one, you get through sexual contact, contaminated needles, blood, and body fluids or blood products. So definitely, if you're going to have sex with people that, you think they are new partners, sometimes it's really good to check. It's good to go and have a screening. This is somebody that you just met before you start going deep in with them. So I think it's best to do that. And if you don't see they get tattoo or you did let for pierce your skin a lot, make sure the procedure wouldn't be done now like a sterile, equipment that they use for put the tattoo on your skin. For those of you that like tattoos, some of the symptoms then similar because all not the liver, not the GI tract, meaning not the stomach. So the fever, the fatigue, the loss of appetite, the bloating, and with this one there's bleeding. And also then get ascites. Ascites now build up of fluid in your abdominal cavity, but that can happen where the disease don't really chronic going on for so long. That can happen as well as the jaundice. And prevention for this, definitely the 3 doses, not a 3-dose series. So when you do the blood test, it is saying non-reactive, right? So when you're not reactive means you're not immune to it. But if you're reactive, then we'll tell you, if it's not the antibody reaction or not the antigen reaction. So the antibody reaction, that means you're immune. The antigen reaction, that means you don't get infected with the disease. So with that, now they therefore do a viral load to see how bad the disease is, whether not chronic, whether not acute. So they can go into that in more details for you. And then with that, then they also refer you to a specialist who will help, manage this problem for you. And the 3 doses, the way them can get, and they give you like 0 months. So the second dose will be within the 1 to 2 month range, and then the third one you get around 6 months to 18 months. But you just want for complete the series. So when you don't complete the series, then go do the blood test again to make sure say now you immune to hepatitis B, because don't forget hepatitis B, it will lead to liver failure, it will lead to cancer. Those are things that you don't want to go that route. So some of these you might need transplant, and which depending on how bad your disease is, but that will be like later on where you don't really find out so early in the stage of the disease and things like that. For like picking where them born to a mama where they say inge hepatitis B, it's positive. The sooner them born the picking within the first 12 hours, then therefore get picking the vaccine, the first dose, then again immunoglobulin, then an antibody for protect the picking from getting hepatitis B. But in addition, then don't forget get picking additional the other 3 doses, then we are the standard dose for anybody who not become exposed, because the picking already exposed. The good thing here, the picking being at the womb. But the moment when they're born and then to treatment, then it will help for prevent the picking for getting the hepatitis B virus.
When you be the talk just now about the ways them way for prevent, you talk about vaccine. I think even the first one, the hepatitis A, and this one, the hepatitis B. One of the common way they get transmitted now through sexual intercourse. So let me say, like, for sexual intercourse, you get different ways them way they can say for prevent yourself way. Now one common one are the use of condom. Is it that one they not they help in this case? So somebody need for go get the vaccine or get treated first or waiting?
Well, definitely the condom use is important, right? Because if you don't know the person, it's good that you protect yourself. But you never know what would happen to that condom, right? You can put yourself at risk without getting, the protection that you need with a primary prevention, immunization. So getting protected from all these things and we be say vaccine they out there for prevent you, I believe are the best thing to do, So just like with other sexually transmitted infections, yes, condom helps, but not 200%.
All right. So we don't know with B. We can go to C.
Yeah, C. Now another one where B say now the C virus. Now they cause this where they lead to the same inflammation of the liver. But this particular one, they can get on through a blood from an infected person, the needle sharing, or like unsterilized tattoo, like if they use tattoo equipment. Symptoms, they're not different for all these hepatitis. Maybe there are a few that would have bleeding. There are a few that would have ascites, like in the late stage, but they're not different. With this particular hepatitis, during the 1945, anybody we born between, this not in America, because now some people in their home put now all healthcare system for ensure say if you born between the 1945 to 1965, your risk for hepatitis C is higher. Those are the baby boomers. Why is that? Because during that time, they're not being done, implement universal precaution. So then they do some procedures, then the items then contaminate, then they, reuse syringes, then they reuse, equipment then we be say if for be a sterile one, we be saying a one-time use. At that time, there not be no. So many people got exposed that way. So then also they say, according to the CDC, 4 people then will get hepatitis C. For example, 3 out of those people were born between 1945 to 1965. So that's why they highly recommend that those people get screened for it. And, and it's very important. And sometimes, as we don't mention with B, they get through sexual contact. with this particular one, it's rare. It happens. Not to say that it happened, but it's very low. Right? The chances of you getting it through sexual contact is low. You can only get it through blood that was contaminated with the hepatitis C virus. And the only way maybe you go get on through sexual contact, maybe if there was some bleeding, there's some cuts somehow. The blood you have to be in contact with the blood for it to happen. So one other thing I will say in terms of this particular one, before they're not been getting no treatment for them, they're not been getting no vaccine for them. But now the good news, they get a treatment for them, which they call Hygiene, now a combination drug, now 2 antiviral medication then, which they combine together for treat you for 12 weeks. For the people that we get the virus with the genotype 1. So the curative, now about 94 to 99% in the people that we infected with hepatitis C genotype 1. The only thing with this one, it's costly. You know, it's about $94,000, you know, for the 12 weeks treatment. So definitely preventing yourself is good in this case, because if you cannot afford that, you know, it will be a challenge. And sometimes some drug company then, they can help. They can do like a patient assistant, you know, for help the, you know, patients, especially the one that we don't can at the country, you know, they don't get insurance, they don't get health insurance. So they think the drugs still they go on. This now being 2014, October, and the Food and Drug Administration approved this drug for use. And they don't see say effective. So that definitely now one good thing for this particular one. So I don't get patients who I take care of. It comes from overseas, then you get hepatitis C, you know, referring to the GI doctor, we're not the gastroenterologist, you know, then be able to put on this medication, you know, which, you know, they go on for the treatment for about 12 weeks. The unfortunate part, you know, he left the country again because he need to go out because of visa issues. So sometimes not a problem that, but, you know, the curative is very high, but then the complication, if you don't get treated, it's bad, like the same cirrhosis, you know, liver cancer, or sometimes you may require liver transplant. And not to all transplant, they go on for 100%.
So, hepatitis A and B, are they curable?
No. A is not, once you exposed to it, it's going to show on your blood that you've been exposed to it. But it's the one that does not cause chronic disease, like the cancer, the cirrhosis, but it puts you at risk for other things as well. Within that time, you'll be very miserable, you know, when you're sick. B is the worst one because that one leads to cancer, you know. And C is the one now they have shown that there's a medication to cure it.
So A and B, they are not curable. Where you don't get now medication number you go there on?
Yes, you get to be on some antiviral treatment, and therefore they do the blood test for see the viral load, because the viral load for there less than 20 based on the number within, depending on which lab they use, but it will be less than 20, it will be like undetectable. Yes, the antibodies say you are immune, or you know, the antigens say you reactive, meaning you have the disease, but it's chronic. They'll just have it as a history of you, but then it puts you at risk for cancer, for developing cancer. So there's no cure for it at this point. So
C9 gets some form of
treatment at this moment.
Okay.
There's a lot of research going on. There's a possibility that they'll bring up something for it, but at this moment they don't have it. And the people that will get the actual hepatitis B now, because that time the vaccine not being commodic. But then we don't get the vaccine, so all those that have it, you know, maybe they got it through, you know, when they were born, right? Because, you know, some people have it, they're younger, but they didn't have vaccine at the time. Maybe the parent never had the vaccine. The parent gave birth to the child. The child never got the vaccine right away. You know, that put them at risk for it as well. So I've been decided for look at the CDC website just to see the number of people and we somewhat the percentage, the statistics on Sierra Leone. For now, from July of this, they say about at least 8% of the population are actively infected with hepatitis B virus, right? So, and then 6 to 11% of them people then are pregnant women with the active hepatitis B infection, So definitely with the mammalian born Peking, I think this is very important. Let them give the Peking then the vaccine, the first dose within 12 hours, and also let them give them the immunoglobulin with an IV drip, which it will help for prevent the child from getting, liver problems in the future.
So this now within the CDC website say for Sierra Leone. So we get hepatitis B.
Yes.
Okay.
This now CDC, this now up to date now like the most up-to-date medical report or article about health problems where now they use mostly, they deal with illness or problems in a health center.
Okay, so we can go to the next one.
Yeah, so the next one would be hepatitis D. But this particular one are the Delta virus, and they cause them. So, but you need to get this type of hepatitis if you don't get B. You forget B in order for you to get the D. The D would never happen without the B. Symptoms still stays, similar. Prevention is definitely important. Complications are the same, which is, I don't mention. But then risk factors, contact with infectious blood product, the hepatitis B virus, IV drug users, and people who receive multiple blood transfusions put them at risk for developing this type of hepatitis. But at the same time, don't forget, it happens only when you have hepatitis B virus.
That's not the D.
Not the D, Dandy, and not the one, the Delta.
Okay.
And then there's the other one, E, where also you get this through drinking water that was contaminated with fecal matter, meaning the water we don't contaminate with, stool or feces, whichever way you look at it, and similar symptoms as well. And also, but this one, supportive care, and the treatment, rehydration, maybe give them fluids because they will become dehydrated through the diarrhea, the vomiting, and all that, and also to help restore the immune system. It can restore on its own about 4 to 6 weeks. So this now one that will cause chronic disease, but it can lead to complications as well. But then at the same time, for those that drink alcohol, it's recommended that you avoid alcohol use.
George Kamara on Facebook, they say also they get B without D. So is it vice versa? They get D without B and B without D?
Now B, the hepatitis D, you will not get without hepatitis B. So the D, you would only get it if you already have hepatitis B.
Okay. So we get any other one?
Oh yeah, we got like 2 other ones. But definitely like prevention, using water bottle for brushing your teeth in high risk areas is very important. Using purified water for washing vegetables or when you are cooking. Now other recommendation for prevention. Also for avoid raw meat. Make sure you boil the water for make sure the water
I want only the quick way they talk about purified water for wash vegetable when you cook. A lot of waiting when we grab up one idea where people and get for say once you don't go na the pot where you don't boil it kill all the germs them. So
that's correct. Mm-hmm.
So this one way they say
one way of purifying it.
Okay. Because
you boil the water to purify it. So now you could use that water to wash the fruits and your vegetables.
No, not to that they talk. Although say now like potato leaf. This is an example. Potato leaf na vegetable. You know, wash and better clean, but you put another pot because it boil at the pot. Then it take longer for cook. They say don't kill all the germs the way they did. Okay, then they correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Because you don't use heat for kill whatever germs they already pan the food or the product. Now that it avoid say not eat cold food, right? The food warm, you already don't try for kill whatever bacteria or viruses that's in there. So the heat definitely one way of getting rid of germs or killing viruses like this. And hand washing frequency is also important. Then let's go to the alcoholic cirrhosis. This one, we know they say the people where they drink 1 glass, 2 glass. We they talk about the people where they drink for too much alcohol for many years, it damage their liver. So prevention with this definitely now for make sure so you avoid it, do it maybe socially if you feel say now something you need. And then can give some patients a medication like steroids, some cholesterol medication or nutritional support to prevent that, the reduce of the inflammation from happening. The complication definitely for alcohol, hepatitis, not cirrhosis of the liver. So if you look at the picture of the liver itself, it's fine. So an example where I want to give them, you take a liver of any, like let's say whether it's a chicken, whether it's a meat, you put vinegar on that or lemon. The texture is not the same as when you just wash it with ordinary water. So that's what can happen to your liver if you drink too much over time.
So we go take the vinegar like the alcohol.
Well, it is not acidic.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like what you say, forgive an example. Say, if you wash them with water, it go different when you wash them with vinegar. So now they say, so the vinegar in the, let's just say, we they use them hypothetically, say, now in the alcohol. So
somewhat.
Okay, okay, get you.
Because just put it on that, like maybe a liver of the meat, and see the texture. It's not the same as when you just use ordinary water to rinse it, right? So that's just to give you an idea of what drinking alcohol will do to your liver over time. It change in appearance, for like it give you all the functions and what you need for metabolize food and medications. Now if you don't become cirrhotic, you don't begin to get scars. So scar now, like where you get a wound or a cut, you don't close. That particular part is rough. You not turn like you other part of your body. So now that it will end up happening. Then it function, and it process. Then everything they build up now your system. They begin get ascites when a fluid they build up now your abdominal cavity. So you see them patient and their stomach then so big, and then it stop there. Because then it will eliminate down in the system, it go na them brain. When it go na them brain, then they call, encephalopathy, which is like the patient will become confused because so much toxic thing they forgot it. Your brain now, the only thing for in our blood and oxygen and nutrients and what that brain needs. Not to anything else when are toxic, when are dirty, not for going to your brain. Your brain then they control everything in your body. So that is very bad, and then patient and they then can go through a lot in a hospital setting.
So talking about this alcohol, Judge Kamara says, if you stop for drink, you say the liver can able regenerate itself?
It would help. It would help, but you have already done so much damage to it. Depending on how many years you've been drinking, the cirrhosis, it's there. It's going to be part of your history, but it definitely would help a lot by cutting, stop drinking. Just like when I tell you, say, we stop for smoke, you don't cut your chance of a lung cancer by 50% just by stop smoking. So now the same concept you use with alcohol and the liver as well.
Somebody sent I don't know, because this is from Germany. I don't know if now the same medication where they use now in the United States, but now Vemlidy, Vemlidy. I don't know if you know about that medication there, because they say they send them for somebody now Africa for hepatitis B, for the hepatitis B. So I don't know if you know anything about this particular medication.
Not that particular one day, because, even if they give us in antiviral, not just for control the viral load, not for treatment. It control and so that it not become out of hand. But there's no cure. To go back to the CDC website and see there is no cure right now for hepatitis B, but there is cure for hepatitis C.
So literally, if you get infected by hepatitis B, you're on your own.
Somewhat. So you want to protect yourself. If you already been immune, don't forget this though. Let's say your partner have this disease, but you don't get the vaccine before. You're already immune. That's a good thing. So your chances is very slim to get any liver problems compared to your partner.
So I want to come now to that particular area. They say, example, somebody else don't get the vaccine, and all of them why I don't talk about. When you don't get the vaccine, any one of them you don't be immune, you not get for, let me say, even if you mistakenly go out of the way and get involved with somebody we don't get time, are you safe?
Yes, you are safe.
So
once the antibodies for hepatitis B is it says you're immune.
So now forever, when you take them now forever, or you get for the good take them?
This particular one, no, it's forever. So it's even like, let's say in the health field where you look for a job or some food, handling things, when they say like you go do a physical, then they, like if you don't get the vaccine, maybe you lost the report. For some reason, you don't get a vaccine record. Then they do a blood test. Then they will know whether you can get a vaccine, whether you be exposed to it. Then get different one than when they run. So if you're not exposed, you be exposed to it, then you run down there for let them know. But first, once they don't know, say you immune, then they go into finding any other thing, because they already know, say you protected. But if you're not protected, then you recommend that they get the vaccine again.
Okay, somebody they asked Peter Mosse, he say, what about people who know they drink, they know they smoke, but then get the hepatitis B?
Well, remember, hepatitis B, not to alcohol, they cause us. So alcohol, now the B virus, they cause them, where, the alcoholic hepatitis because of the alcohol, they make you get them. If you drink, then that's what you will get. For the hepatitis B, you've been exposed to the virus that somebody already was infected with. Either you got it through a partner or you got it through your parents, when they were giving birth to you and they didn't give you the necessary vaccine when you were just born. That could be one of the reasons. So there are different ones there. So I doubt, I'm trying to understand the question, but to pair that, alcoholic hepatitis is different from hepatitis B.
Okay. Somebody else they ask, is say lavomidine. I don't know if you know that tablet. Say if it's good for prevent lavomidine.
Okay, so the other two drugs that are being mentioned, now let me tell you again. Now, combination drug is out now for Hep C. So now, Ledipavir and Sofosbuvir. So now, two drugs and they combine. But any medication will end in VIR, now antiviral medication. So you can see people that when they take HIV medication, most of the medication end in that VIR. Because now antiviral medication. So if not that, now the last three letters then, with the medication end in antiviral medication. So I don't know all the drugs that, out there for specific things, but we then come up, just because we didn't really learn medication. We didn't learn them by class. We also learn by, how then the chemistry name come about. So that's why, it's most likely it's one of those antiviral medications.
Somebody they ask, say if you take the vaccine for hepatitis B, if you say from A, C, and D, even though not B you take for?
No, you're only protected for the B.
So each vaccine, you get to take each one for the specific one, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because, the B, now 3 doses, sometimes I can give them 4 doses. The hepatitis A, now 2 doses. And hepatitis C, they don't get vaccine for it, but they don't get cure for it.
Okay. Okay, let me see. Judge Kamara say, because that's how I ask you about if now one thing no more. You say you can also get a booster when they recommend for increase the effectiveness of the vaccine in your body. You
can do that. Say you prone, if you're in an area with very high risk, and you're prone to it. But you getting the booster, there has to be that you are not immune to start with. There's nothing wrong getting additional vaccine. It doesn't hurt you to get additional vaccine, but it would hurt you for not getting additional vaccine. So I would really want to see that blood report to see how it looks for them to recommend that. Or maybe the person could don't say, Abi don't get me vaccine. Abi don't get me 3 vaccine. Then they do blood tests. They can find out, say, in order to show, say, the person be immune. So they go through the series again. Because I don't get patients like that before. Maybe say them come on at the Eastern Europe, but according to them vaccine record with them present me with, it shows that them been getting vaccine when they're younger. But it wasn't effective. For some reason, it didn't kick in for them. Same goes with like the measles, mumps, rubella. Sometimes we do by numbers. So where you don't do the vaccine, then it shows say the person either immune or intermediate. Then if you say intermediate, meaning you need to get an additional measles, mumps, maybe 1 more dose of the measles, mumps, maybe it's not 2 them to forget no more. Within around 12 months and within be around 4 to 6 years old. So that can happen. But we have to look at it first based on your titers. The titers, now we don't do blood tests and try to find out which vaccine were you immune to, which one were you not immune to. If you're not immune to the one that we're not immune, then they tell you, say, like, get this, and this. Because you do a catch-up to the vaccine. So that could be one of the reasons in terms of that booster that he's saying, because maybe the person already got the vaccine and it did not show in their blood to show that they were protected. Because if you're not protected, you might as well get it. And it not show, say, again, say, you get infection. Because when they do the blood test, now 2 things they look for. Do you have an antibody or antigen?
Make I get this understanding. The vaccine, when, let me say you get infected already, like the hepatitis B. Let me say you don't get infected already. The vaccine is not necessary anymore because you don't get infected?
It's not, exactly. It's not.
So all in vaccine I would talk about, it's prevention, not before you get her.
That's correct.
Okay. You want to elaborate small?
Yeah, because if let me give you example of the chickenpox virus, down in the varicella. When you small, you get chickenpox, then that's it. You don't need and you don't even get the vaccine before you get the chickenpox. So when you go do a titer, then they do the titer, it shows say you're reactive, meaning you immune. That means you be not exposed to her, you know that for even if you're exposed to her again, you know would get like that. But let me say this: when they're around 65 years old, then get a vaccine called shingles. Shingles now a reactivation of the chickenpox virus which small. So the people that will be get the vaccine, where they're small, where they not actually get the virus itself, then they at risk for get the shingles than those who received the vaccine when they were younger. Because if this one, you introduce them, but the other person, it got exposed because somebody been get her, you get her through the, a droplet route. So maybe if your brother been get her, you get that because it happened to me. My brother had the chicken pox, then I ended up having the chicken pox. So I did not get the chicken pox because, I got the vaccine. Like I didn't get immune because I got the vaccine. I got immune because I actually had the virus when I was younger. So immune chance for get a single virus while grow older is higher than the person who had the vaccine that been given for protect them. So the primary prevention are the key here.
You get any knowledge about prophylactic treatment?
For
prophylactic treatment.
Prophylaxis, then they always give prophylactic for prevent something. But it depends on which thing are the prophylaxis for. Prophylactic for which type of virus we're talking?
Based on which would they talk now? Is there any one way related to anything would they talk here?
No. These particular viruses, it's recommended that you get the vaccine. There's no prophylaxis to say, okay, take it. That means you're never going to get the disease. If you exposed to it, like the pikin them, the baby them, what I mentioned, if the mama get the actual hepatitis B, so by pregnant, they're not going to be able to get the pikin, vaccine at that point. But the moment where they born the pikin within the first 12 hours, then they vaccinate the pikin, then they give them immunoglobulin for protect the pikin. But in addition, the pikin can forget the other 3 doses then. This is not like more treatment just to make sure that pikin did not suffer a liver problem.
Okay, before we let you go, we will go accept calls them, even though people that don't send message, maybe we will get any calls. If not calls, we can bring you back for wrap up. Mm-hmm. But before we let you go, just recap for the common symptom for all the wire. Waiting at the common symptom for the hepatitis. Okay.
So, like fatigue, now the most common symptom where the patient they report. Then they become nauseous, vomiting, they have loss of appetite, diarrhea, also swelling of the leg. Those are like late signs where they happen. Changes in their skin color, changes in the sclera, the eye, the white part of the eye. Pruritus, when are like itchiness of the skin, joint pain, also pale, or gray colored stool. And for the other thing where I believe I really want to make everybody understand, which I mentioned, sometimes your immune system, they attack you healthy cells then. Then they call autoimmune hepatitis. So some people can get dandy. So then people and they end up for treat them with like steroid for prevent, that rejection, of waiting to go on. And at the same time, if you keep going on, like they don't try all different treatment modalities then can treat them patient there so by giving them a transplant. But as always, transplant, there's risk for rejection. So those are some of the things that can happen. But then another thing I want to also know, there is a World Hepatitis Day where they say then they make people aware of what's going on, what they for get vaccinated, to avoid sharing needles. Also, like, people are willing for go, bab, maybe now a wise idea for you get your own, shaving equipment. Also if you go do pedicure or manicure, things like that is good for like do if you travel, some of the things that we will be aware of. But then July 28th, now a World Hepatitis Day.
Okay, well, we want to make we all and they first, make we accept calls them. We know say you go to listen and they take notes, then we go count you back for make we can wrap up.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. We go count you right back.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes, that's now we sister Isatu. You don't hear it, all waiting, you don't talk. You get opportunity now for call. And if you want for add on waiting you don't say, or if you want for subtract, or if you want for get more clarification, you get the opportunity now for call and be part of the program. Yes, call ID live on your name and who the call from?
Yeah, my name is Brian. I call from New Jersey.
You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, people will tell you plenty. Thank you. The reason that will make a share network very important. Why? Me na a couple questions I want to ask, because why have they actual some of the questions or the text that were sent to you? Media in the process of taking the hepatitis B vaccine, becoming the social service field me the work, because they can recommend to we say for take so I've been taking the first shot around 2005 or so. So my first question I get to my sister is, what you take, we're gonna the hepatitis B vaccine I've been take 2005, now here they take presently back. Where you take how many years will they be effective? Then my first question. Then presently, as I say, I take because I take the first dose, because I over 6 months in the year. I take the first dose October 23rd this year. Though I take the second dose last month, November 23rd. Then I forget the next dose, April 23rd, 2020. So, as I say, I want to know how long will it take the hepatitis B vaccine, how many years will it be effective. Then the second question I want to ask, you don't already answer. Say if you take the hepatitis B vaccine, if you immune for the other forms of the hepatitis virus, they don't answer that side. Then, as I say, generally, we tell and thank you because most of them here, at least they give you idea. So, me advice is, just like couldn't advice, we self now, the job where the work in the training, let everybody take them. If you want to go salon or you didn't, let everybody take them. Because that's the advice they can give you. So, thanks very much, and I continue for listening.
Thank you very much, Brahma. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yes, call ID live on your name and who the call from?
I was trying to call from Manchester, sir.
Yes, who's when you get the platform, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, and I also thank Isatu very much for bringing this highlight and brief up about this hepatitis. I would just want to relate for Sierra Leone because they relate everything for Sierra Leone at the moment. The first thing I would just want to add up a little bit. Now, regarding that question we asked about jaundice, the answer I'm fine, he's very good, he's clever and everything right. I just want to say, the jaundice itself, when they say jaundice, because based on the hepatitis disease, now something in the liver, we actually responsible na a vein. This vein here, I think they pull food from the intestine, from the pancreas, the aphastine and the spleen, then it can go inside the liver and call a hepatic portal vein. So the reason why they call the sick hepatitis, from there actually, what are the prefix hepa, then are just the reason why. But the jaundice itself, where they cause this eye for color, yellow, for let the bodies on say whitish, depending on every individual like day. Now where the blood, then they damage them. The red blood cell, whenever they damage them, it get something inside with a pink color. Because blood cells, when you look and through na red, but a pink day inside, what they call them bilirubin. So now this thing and in the scatter, when they burst the red blood cells, they go na your eye, it become yellowish, they see na you piece, it change color. But when the blockage there between this vein here, where they pull food from your intestine, we don't eat now all for let the liver go process and for let go do some after with them. Now they block. Now they cause this jaundice. At times, most of the other sickness them. So hepatitis is now one of the sickness where they cause jaundice. Malaria back, now sick where they cause jaundice. I think now for that you be asked that question, I just want to throw a light. Because malaria back now inside the liver, the plasmodium, then they go hide. Then the thing them, the organism that would cause the malaria. So that's they cause bilirubin for damage. When the red blood cells would then broke inside the cells there, that fluid, now the bilirubin, now the yellowish part where they go. And then also the other side was somebody when they ask about if alcohol and this so on and so forth. Isatu also he addressed that side there. But waiting on I just want to clear now. If you actually get a kind of hepatitis in any of the grades so far, from waiting I just know because now the research they still they do on, you just get for limit your alcohol consumption. In other words, just stop drinking. Because when you drink alcohol, you actually cause damage to the liver. How? Because the liver, in the deaminate, like what they say, let's say, they diffuse. In other words, when they drink anything poisonous, because alcohol now poison to the system at some point. So in they go reduce the toxicity, in other words, the poisonous part for them. So anytime you drink alcohol, now that work in the D to the liver, it deaminate the alcohol. So that work where they give the liver every time, now they make the liver, it become very, very tired, it become sclerotic, where in the talk, it explains, it damage the liver. Obviously the alcohol where they drink, now they go damage them physically. When away the liver, they try to reduce the poison content in the alcohol. Now, in they cause the work, just like woman, the whole matawodo, matapensi, where they beat them all the time, like you hand, you see they pull boto. So that kind of reaction, the way they give work to the liver all the time, and they cause. So it will be better, you really stop for drink alcohol, so that the blood itself in the system, it goes, sometimes there are cases where you get, 4 out of 5 people where if they just not do any more bringing into the virus into their system, then they stay normal with no alcohol and other things, they are sometimes going to be healed. In other words, yes, they are sometimes they become healed just by that, but it's like a percentage out of that. Then one other point again. The only thing now I just want to say now again, between the antibody and antigen, where they explain back just now. One thing about the blood, you get 2 groups of things the way they do. Like when they say blood group A, blood group B, blood group A and B, and blood group O. Everybody will get in blood group here, then get different antibodies and different antigens. Say like somebody will get blood group O, get antibody B. And waiting na antibody. Antibodies, this na things them where they fight against a disease. Now when I say anti, the prefix anti. So any disease what kind of system, then they fight them. That's not one of the other second line of barrier. Because the first line of barrier in humanity, me as mortal man, now you hear, you skin, what disease they come. If you see that second line of barrier, don't pass and don't let where they get war from. The second line now your blood system. And the blood system, you get a lot of things. You get the lymph nodes, like somebody cut now in leg, in foot, so you go somebody and say pull something in thigh. Because you live, then they fed that disease. So that's the second line of defense. So so I will left that side if you want to give other people time for talk. Okay. But this is the difference between the antibodies and the antigen we talked about. The antigens, then they already in the system, then are toxins already, well, then they look for foreign bodies. So when the system gets sickness, then they trigger the antibodies for letting them go release the type of, it was like a chain walk. You see, but in terms of Sierra Leone, finally, before they go, the hepatitis C, voting I just want to recommend they, whether side they not say it reach they want to too much, let them baba them because then they get advert, they baba them, they use one blade for one person, the nurse then they use one needle for one person. Because in terms of needle, now they the hepatitis C in the camp. And a virus of itself, thing was very, very difficult for kill. And the different things, they get bacteria, you get the virus, you get protozoa, you get fungus, what they cause them thing then you hear when they see the entering warmer fasting there, or their foot asleep, what they put in the stool in their foot. But virus of itself, now for that, it take years before they succeed for produce a medicine, because its skin layer is very, very, very turgid, it's very hard. Yes, not to see where just they break easily enough for that. Then a virus them very difficult. But the only way then they try to treat them now minimizing. Though they don't try to treat the virus who are the HIV in then get that virus for them treatment. But the hepatitis B in treatment, sometimes now your body, if God help you, now you need to treat them for yourself. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Usman. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, caller ID live on air. Your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, this is Ayo. I call from US.
Yes, Ayo, you get the platform, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I want to extend thanks to Isatu for the information we pass on GCNO. For us within the diaspora, we get access to internet and things, we can able to go and do our own research or follow up on what he say, for get more understanding as to what they say. But for the people within a saloon, especially those in the provinces, then they find it difficult. We always talk about these things then when they start affecting people in a saloon. Now maybe last time I suggest say, then for go back to what people they do in the early days after news, then get news in the vernacular. When they try to disseminate news to the people in the provinces and in their own tribal languages, then we're going to explain things to them on a daily basis. They're not for the wait for when things don't happen, then they begin tell people listen so and so they go on. But if they keep on repeating constantly in their head every week, they talk about something different viruses, different infections and things, the people will become aware and know what to do when they get in small symptoms in there. But if we just sit down with the way to say when things happen, that in time we go say something, I'm not think so we go able for the solving problem there when they arrive. Because if it come up and then just like that now, it will affect so many people and now they'll begin rush, But if they tell them every day saying that this one what they do, when so and so symptoms happen to you, take this step, make like this, the people will at least will become aware of what they happen. And also, she talks about this, and CDC said about 8% of the people in Sierra Leone get this B. How they come about that figure? If she gets an idea, I would like to know about that. So that's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Ayo. Thank you, sir. Yes, call ID live on air. Your name and who side you call from?
Hey, this is Janet Mathamusa. I call from the UK.
Yes, Janet, you get the platform.
First of all, I want to say thank you very much to Isatu for that brilliant lecture. We just lecture and I know say a lot of people could benefit from this, and also from my brother we just called from the UK. It's really nice we raise the awareness and able to explain to people how for prevent hepatitis. And also, for talk about treatment and stuff like that. But for me, my focus really here is we set up a medical charity in Sierra Leone, and we get advice to say that we focus on hepatitis, and this is the reason why Eddie Grant called me a good nurse. Research a lot of work around this area, for we don't understand between 18 and 40-year-old people in Sierra Leone. Now then, this they contract this virus and stuff like that. So disease, whatever you call it, So we try for now say, well, okay, look, if the vaccine why we're not going to just make them sensitize the entire country and get people for take the vaccine. So this way they will get prevention, rather than waiting for all this complication we go come. So my own concern really here is that I would like for keep in touch with Isatu and to the brother we call from the UK, please. I want for make una able contact me or for us to get more information from una, because I am paying attention to hepatitis in Sierra Leone. At this time, we try to get people that we get medical knowledge for join we and advise we and stuff like that. So, like I said, my focus really is fighting for make we get the vaccines in a salon. I don't talk to a few nurses with Okna, certain hospitals. They said to me they not even get some vaccine in a salon. So this is really, really frightening. So me go look for work with people and we get nursing background, we specialize in this area, we go on for work with me.
And before you go, you go on that area there, because I believe, say, if I go back to the text, like somebody we blow whistle, we come to me say, then they charge dear one for some of the vaccine, they even a salon. Say some people are not go able for take the vaccine and because it's very expensive. So, and we get the linkage between the World Health Organization with Kindena Salonde, but the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, nobody know they raise alarm when it is on this mild stage until we go out of control. Just now, then they begin give red flag, say, certain thing, this thing don't happen at salon. So, what thing like your organization where they try to focus on things like that? What thing you go want to foresee the government under Ministry of Health and Sanitation do in this area where we talk today?
Well, first of all, mass sensitization, that is to say, raising awareness of hepatitis being a problem in Sierra Leone. I said to talk about 13%, but a Chinese company, a Chinese medical organization, we do research last year and this year. They come up with a figure much larger than what Isatu we get from the CDC. So the thing is, we know, say, by talking to practitioners in Sierra Leone, we know, say, there is a problem, and the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, they make like they don't understand. We wrote to the minister, we write to the chief medical officer, and all of that. None of them make like they don't understand what we write to them about. But we get information for say, yes, this is the problem. And then, like you said clearly, the injection, the inoculation of the vaccine, the expense is $500,000 for one shot. Imagine you need to get 3, man not get food for it before I say they go pay for $500,000. So within we organization try to do is to be able to, force the government or encourage, maybe encourage is a better word, encourage the government for make them vaccine free, Okay, even if you don't contract the disease now, the medication is expensive as well. It's not free. You have to buy them. So another step is encourage government for make their medication so free for people, and because the reason for this call, clarion call, is to encourage if we're not getting medication, people they spread this thing around. And this practitioner I talk to, it said from 18 to 40-year-old people, now because they're sexually active, let us be very specific, hepatitis B now common in Sierra Leone, and this is the problem. We really need government for open their eyes and pay attention and not be in denial.
All right. Thank you very much, Janet. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
All right. Yes, caller, ID live on air. Your name and who the call from?
Yes, it's Nancy. The call from US.
Nancy, don't say we will hear your voice, but we're glad to forget you back. Waiting na your own contribution.
Nadia Basso, my brother. Yeah, I can listen to the program though, even though I'm not able to come on, but I can listen. Yeah, this thing also I'm fortunate for work now. I know that and they do practical, and I notice a lot of patients that will they come, then get a hepatitis B. A lot of them, a lot, overwhelming. So can you imagine that was 9 years ago? So can you imagine now how many people then don't get them out there? And the first experience, one of the nurses, maybe one would take vital signs, but fortunately for me, Dr. Russell been there. So as the patient, the nurse want to touch the patient, and then Dr. Russell get for what himself intervene immediately. Say don't even try that. Go put on gloves, and he can't see the patient at that time. And so he get away that moment. Say, sensitize you about that disease, they say this disease is even worse than HIV. They say because the way how it transfer to people, it can transfer through sweat. So let's say you person you get them, but you not get them, and then that person they sweat and they decide for hug them, and maybe when they exchange clothes and all them things, and you see they get them through that. They get them through blood, so also. So when I therefore be very careful when they walk now, when I make sure say when I wear gloves, so when they take care of them patients them. They say sometimes not to all patients them they able for no say this person gets them because not to that disease they come with. And so unless they not even go through proper checkup for like go no say they get them. So when they do you therefore be very careful. So I just suggest say then therefore do a massive sensitization. The one that we're knowledgeable about this disease, they really need for help the people them out there we not understand because they don't even know. When you know how the thing they contact the disease, then you go able for know how to prevent them, they not come to you. Because if you know say when somebody sweats and then this sweat has touched me, the possibility they for let her go get this disease, then you go be careful when somebody sweats, waiting for do, and if the person himself no say get them, the people that know say, okay, these are the signs and symptoms. When I see somebody way in yellowish so much that he almost look green, you know say this person get them. And if you know say when you wet, you in, it look like coffee, like tea leaf. You know, you will not say, okay, this is bad. You need for go to hospital. All them signs and they need for tell let the people that know, like visiting schools, because speaking them, when you explain, maybe when they go home, then send for explain to the parents them also. So if they visit communities, explain to them, even at the villages, then let them know what to look for. Some person see them in swell, in the left swell, and all in head and jaundice and all that. You don't know, then just they say, oh, this person is a witch or something. You know, upline how people think sometimes, then they actually then say, you don't witch and they begin the way don't eat. They don't know say maybe this person they carry this disease with a monogram. Same way also with this diabetes, most people then can get them. So when they wound, the wound not they heal back in the villages. They see say this person and which they witch, not knowing maybe this person even is diabetic. So you know we get a lot to do. But putting in the way they need for do for sensitizing people that are like way that we sister don't explain. If you're able, like once in a while when they go home, let them volunteer and explain and help the people there, even just visit schools and do hospitals where the nurses then they and help all that. So me na that suggestion they no more I want to give.
All right, thank you very much, Nancy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, call ID live on here. You name and who side you call from?
Concerned Leone from Australia.
You get the platform, sir.
Triple. Well, thank you very much for shorter program. And I always say this, when I will go down into history for the job owner they do, because when we look about health, the human being, the health is very important. You go hardly achieve anything where you not get a good health. If you not get a good health, there is nothing that much you can achieve, especially when you're heavily impacted by a disease which affects your entire life. More especially like hepatitis, like how the last caller don't say, it's just about continued public education, like owner they do through this channel. It's very, very important. Then the other caller talk about like Sierra Leone, how they will break down some of the educative information here to the local dialect, where in the last person in a village would they get this information over and over and over. Because when we look at the settings, the African settings, we believe in traditions, we believe in witchcraft. We believe saying that somebody might harm this person through spiritual means or spiritual power. When you get a society where 60 to 70% of the population get a perception about diseases, we do not get any scientific proof. Now, a danger to society, you know, it deteriorates the health system, and that would encounter more especially in Africa, because for anything we hit somebody, even if I get job right now, hepatitis go catch me. My liver begin damage. I begin get jaundice. Spider web don't begin can. Then vein they don't begin come up and the body the less well. That man they just get a job no more. They don't go with him. And for go to a Kabbalah, go to a Kribola. These are all the things we say. Instead of taking the person to the hospital, do blood tests, get results, will scientifically proven with a good another means. By the time they go to the hospital, it's too late. The person don't die. More especially hepatitis C, where mostly in our blood contacts, now can cause hepatitis C. And somebody who is pregnant gets 30% chance for make it the reborn gets the disease. And also, like people who they do tattoos, people who they deal with blood at the hospital, people who they do piercing, people who they take other people incentives, then they use them at their body. If you find out say somebody get that disease, you don't cut yourself, the incentives so they use not become contaminated. If you yourself go take that incentives without sterilizing that incentive, you use them now your body, a cut, the virus go through your blood. That is how you become contaminated with the disease. And significantly, the liver, they carry a larger, now they get the highest percentage of portion area, like the human system, in big parts, all the other organs, them, like the human system. And when you look at the function of the liver, more especially in detoxification, for anything they can inside the blood, now the liver now get for breaking down, for making less toxic, less poisonous. And when the virus actually don't destroy the functions of the liver, where they detoxify things like the tablet that they take, all that they go through the liver. Now they detoxify, now they break down the Panadol, the paracetamol, the drugs the way they take, the alcohol the way they drink. Now the liver now they detoxify, now they break them down to lesser harm to the body before it send them to the rest of the body. So imagine the part of the body we're responsible for that function. The factor responsible for that function is breakdown. The machine where they function that don't break down. How you go physically go get a distribution of a quality or clean blood into the rest of the body? It's just like the function of a machine where they give electricity. If that machine where they provide electricity to various parts of the houses break down, we find out the whole part of the other body becomes shut down and become affected. People are not going to get cold water for drink. People are not going to get where they place one for use and fan. So now that kind of way they put at the function of the liver, because in actually a major function now for detoxification of any material, now they purify the blood before ever it distributes them. Imagine the function of that liver is breakdown. Because the harm will go pass through now the blood, will go past and go to the other organs. They affect the organs then. Now the same thing like people can get you on this. Now the same because you don't already damage the liver, where they actually detoxify the blood. So when you get jaundice, if you find out say all the toxins then, all the things that way they harm the body, they go to the various organs. Now because somebody gets hepatitis C, it gets a lot, you're vulnerable to a lot of diseases the way they carry you away. So you see, so we want to thank Isatu very much for a very good presentation and all the callers and the contribution and one own time we take for educate for bring we on board, for bring everybody on board, for educate from each other. We are not going to tell on plenty. Let God continue for bless on all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you, sir. Yes, caller, you live on air. You name and who side the call from?
No, this is Ibrahim, the call from Athens.
Yes, Ibrahim, you get a platform.
Okay, thank you very much, Tripoli. I want to tell Isatu plenty thank you for this high opening caution we give, because we need this kind of advices. Then sometimes, like we said, they know what they do. I get my own question. What I get for them when it talks to somebody, your body they feel itchy, because sometimes where I come from the shower, my body they scratch. I don't do a lot of different tests and then say nothing will happen to me. So I don't know when he talk about that, they make me scared a little bit, because sometimes when I come out of the shower, my body they scratch. So I want it answer me that one day. Don't me advice what I get for the medical, the Ministry of Health in our country. We get try for handle things them before then they go worse. Now we not prepare for things them. We they wait for letting go happen. We not prevent them early. Take of this Lassa fever we happen. We don't get these things since colonial days. We then self they gonna meet na radio and television. They talk and say we don't get this long, so let people not worry. But we not try for cure since the early stage. We they wait stay it begin turn something serious before we handle them. And even the hospitals, them let them try. Even the gloves, now one way down one day for prevent sickness them from people. A lot of hospitals and clinics, them we go there, even gloves not there. Let we Ministry of Health make sure say then try for the put them things. There's small things there where they feel say important. Not they're important for prevent life. Not always somebody don't sick. We not even get the medication for cure them. So me advice, Sandy. Thank you so very much, brother.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, we don't close the line for today. We don't close the line. We come with Isatu back. Make we come wrap up today on program. Yes, Isatu, you don't hear everybody we call. You get the opportunity now for relate to the call stem before we come to the roundup. What thing you get to say about the call stem?
Well, I'm happy that, people are interested. I'm really happy to say, people are interested for really know how to help, get, prevented, from this problem. As, the first caller mentioned, within the liver they do, and also the caller from Australia also don't go deeper into the pathophysiology because, we really talk to the public, you therefore know how you want to present this information to them. Going into pathophysiology is really going into how, what thing they really happen, how each thing they happen at your blood system them. But those were a good addition, and all the one that we then call back, then self-give and your own feedback, we be say, it's very helpful to this for allow sensitize, the nation, let sensitize other people then where they, really work in the health sector or whether in the public sector, because, if you don't prevent yourself from something, we get the problem, then, you can't do nothing about it. So, I want to go to Brahma. Brahma also been get a question about the vaccine. Say how effective it is and also for how long it is. So in many cases, if you healthy, what really it is say right now, when I go back to the CDC, say about 80 to 100% effective of the Hepatitis B vaccine. And then, it also say, for about 30 years. So let's say if you don't get the vaccine before and maybe you're not being complete the series, I'm not sure, but if you not complete the series, I really recommend, say, let you go ahead and take the vaccine because as I believe Fred from Manchester was saying, the antibodies, antigen, so the antibodies, they should say, you immune to hepatitis, antigen, they should say you get infected with the disease. So for me, I didn't think it is necessary to go into that pathophysiology for everyone because we're not really trying for people to know what's really the pathophysiology is, but they need to know the symptoms, right? The symptoms is important. The ways to prevent it is important. So definitely I will say let you go ahead with the vaccine. And the bile, of course, as Fred mentioned, definitely we know the function of the bile, now for take care of the digestive tract, it contains acidic information, it break down a lot of stuff. As the Australian guy also mentioned, the liver, one of the organs then where they metabolize, food, they metabolize medications, and the one where they metabolize most of the medication, then before the kidneys, they get involved. So the liver is a very organ. The skin, definitely, they protect you, not a large organ, not the skin, but if you get a break in your skin, then you're at risk for viruses, infection, and other things. I'd also want to touch on the fact, I believe Nancy mentioned this, say, you will get hepatitis B. But I think that information there, I'm not sure how that provider being stated to them, but that's not correct. Maybe the only way that sweat, we touch the sweat, if the person sweat, you get hepatitis B through them, if that sweat contains blood. That's the only time. So we don't want to, let people and things say, because this person get hepatitis B, if they sweat, if I go near them, I will get, sick that way.
So I want all you under quick. So which of the hepatitis where they contaminate through sweat?
They not get anyone where they contaminate through sweat on, the food where this.
Continue.
This because it mentioned B. B not through blood and body fluid. If you can recall, we talk about how you get exposed to certain things. Sweat, not to one of those things that you get. Even with the HIV, then don't try for a lot of people to understand, say, just because somebody is HIV positive, when them sweat, you touch them, doesn't mean you're going to get HIV that way. You don't get it that way because, there's no blood in the sweat. The sweat now on the skin no more. The skin, if it close, break nothing in the skin, there's no way you're going to get in contact and get infected that way. So that's really something we should not spread, I would say. And also, let's see, the question where Ayo asked in terms of the percentage, and also Janet did mention about the percentage. So right now, if you go to cdc.gov and then you just want to type, hepatitis in Sierra Leone, so now being surveyed what and do. So because, it not going to be say maybe they don't test everybody for find out, say everybody gets. So based on this survey, it is say, they thought that Sierra Leone have the highest percentage, but at least 8% of the population actively infected with hepatitis B virus, right? And then within that, the two studies report that in Sierra Leone, 6 to 11% of the pregnant women have active hepatitis B infection. So based on their survey and their study, so maybe forget a clearer data would be, if we will get Ministry of Health, Nasalon, for see if they report every hepatitis B cases. Because so some hepatitis B cases, depending on the age of the person, that we need for reporter, now like a public reportable infection. Because I recall I get like somebody in the childbearing age, it become hepatitis B positive, they send me a form that I have to complete. I have to fax over to see how the person exposed to this, right? Now, like something we need for a communicable disease where they report. So we therefore probably dig into that a little bit, through the Sierra Leone website. But the CDC, the World Health Organization, those are like two good websites I would really recommend people to use, to get up-to-date information on. Then also, let's not just say jaundice, now just the hepatitis. Now, disease where you don't get will affect your liver. Then they cause for they get the jaundice symptom. Because jaundice, some people they born, them body, they really break down. The red blood cell, they break down the bile, not get bile, so that part of physiology. So they therefore put them under UV light for make sure that skin color change. So, but that's diving into something totally different. So, which I don't think that's the topic today. So you get jaundice through other health problems. So, Lord, don't forget that there are different things that mimic each other. Then also, I believe the one of the callers talk about feeling itchy when he gets out of the shower. Well, it depends on how you take shower. If you really take shower with very hot water, it will make you itchy, especially when you don't say you don't go do many tests and say everything was okay, your liver function okay. But people that will get liver cancer, which I recently have a patient, right, from one of the West African states, which I already mentioned the name. The symptoms that we're in the get. So definitely screening is important. When they start in age, go see your doctor. For 3 years, the man not show up in the hospital. Then, he show up in the hospital with shoulder pain, radiating to the back. Then being tired and also, like itchiness don't start. Whether they don't go on for 2 months straight, we go in and do scan, then found out, say, you get liver cancer. How you get a liver cancer? Because you get hepatitis B, well, you not even know, say you get hepatitis B. I question them. I said, did you do regular checkup before even coming to the States? And I say, no. Say, if you go in Papa in hospital, then they do regular, blood pressure and things like that. Everything was fine. But no. Now, this man get picking there. He get a wife, right? So I get for education to say, you get for make like the family know, right? So the cancer now we don't get, it don't spread to the lungs, right? Because I work now in oncology. So I really deal with more sick people then at this point. So it's very important, for people that are 40 years, I would say prostate screening. For people that are 50, I will tell you colonoscopy. For people that are women 40, breast cancer screening. These are all important things to do. So I will tell Ibrahim, I believe that I named our Ibrahim, maybe not if not water, or maybe if you get eczema, then they can cause itchiness sometimes. But if you don't do all the tests, it's still to go on. I would say change the way you take showers. Maybe not too hot. That's one way, but maybe dig into it a little bit more, right? Because I don't just sit down and something is persistent and you haven't done anything. So definitely AAA for this segment, I believe people can go able to prevent themselves from these type of illnesses by making sure they do vaccination, screening, safe sex practices, proper hand hygiene, safe drinking water, and proper meal preparation and things like that. If you develop any of the symptoms that we don't mention, today when are the feeling tired, we don't go on for so long, so you get enough rest, but you still experience this, you really want to look into it because, fatigue can mimic too many, it can present in different things. And nausea, the loss of appetite, the GI symptoms, anything now when at the stomach problem, you really want to look into that. You begin to see, say, you're bloated. You begin to see, say, there's too many fluid in your abdominal cavity. So definitely you want for show up to your healthcare provider, swelling, changing the urine color and things like that. Those are not normal. The urine color now, like the tea color, that ain't not normal. It will be either clear or clear yellow, and that's it. Unless if you take some antibiotics, some medications can change the color, but then can educate you on the side effects. So you will not say that this make this happen to me.
Okay, before we round up now, for the last one where you could just give it for round up, that's how for Ibrahim, na Athens with the scratch. Okay, some of you can go salon, then say the water, where if you wash with time, your body scratch, for use Dettol. So I don't know if that one day advisable, but since not to salon the day for make you use Dettol and see if you go still scratch way or in body go itchy way you don't wash them because now that they can tell we say where you go salon, say the water, maybe the water no right for your skin again, you put Dettol on the water so that you go try for make the water purify small and you can wash with them. I don't know if that makes sense now. Yeah.
If it's helpful, it makes sense really because I know about that. Now Africa now like a disinfectant agent, so you can definitely mix them with the water and take shower. But maybe also seek a dermatologist, right? Because then they deal with the skin. If they don't do the blood test, and sometimes the dermatologist also can do a blood test. Not just your primary care, but let you do that and make sure you do like the allergy testing. They do allergy testing. Why? Sometimes some food and where you eat, they give reaction. You get very hypersensitive reaction. So that now one thing, maybe doing the allergy testing, if you're clear with that, they don't say no to the allergies. Then, seek a dermatologist just to make sure not to, but if not eczema, then go also through the allergy testing as well. So maybe okay. See an allergist as well.
Okay, so what will be your final word for today?
Well, I hope this was, educative, for people. I hope, we all will take the necessary precautions then for make sure, we not get exposed, especially if we don't know. If you get somebody with a new person to you, a new partner, you don't know them, it's very important that you go get checked. Tell the person, I don't mean no offense, but I think it's good now the 21st century we day. We need to go get screened, make sure you clear on any infectious disease, which is clear. That now something we could do. And then, the hand hygiene is very important. I emphasize this because now the most single effective way of getting rid of germs. And as we know, the virus not develop, outside the human body. It has to be within a host. Right? So definitely these are things that we you go get them. Not like bacteria, we can grow any side. So it's very important, keep an eye on that. And those that drinks a lot, I would say cut back, do it in moderation. That would definitely help. And then get screened.
All right. Thank you very much, Isatu, for the health talk for today. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you. I hope it was.
Thanks. So, we don't hear from Isatu. And I seen at the comment section today, a lot of we in the medical field work in Kanaya. So it's very helpful with all the calls them where we get for make we share ideas them, and we go see what's in now we next topic for January, because we don't do the one for November. We now for prepare yourself for go salon and all the little things them we for do medically before you go. We don't do this one for December. Come January, we will choose something else. We go come lay na table. So let's just left everything for tomorrow. We go there back with long life and well body, and then we go come enjoy, can get a good time. Till we meet again, Triple say tata.